Eric, thank you very much for talking to us.
No problem, sir.
Much has been made of the sovereign debt crisis recently. What impact has it had on private equity?
I think obviously indirectly had a very big impact. I think on several levels, obviously economic growth has been hampered by the crisis, and eventually portfolio companies feel that. And since it's a contagion around the world, it has really hit the world in large. And obviously also then the additional worries about the euro. The euro itself has impacted certain outlooks on returns of companies.
How important are emerging markets in your strategy?
Very important. We want to first to really invest heavily in emerging markets. It's clearly where a lot of the growth occurs, and the demographics work for private equity. Albeit clearly there's less manager and less overall investment opportunities, but we invest heavily there. Yeah.
What role do you envisage fund of funds playing within a strategic investment portfolio?
I think it depends on the client, really, to be honest. But I think nobody has sufficiently the scale to ignore fund of funds. You will use them as certain gap fillers for certain areas you cannot cover yourself. Probably I can envision that people do large cap more themselves, and small mid cap they will outsource to fund of funds. But the fund of fund business itself is changing quite a lot. I think the traditional primary only model might be under threat, and people will add more secondaries or directs into the portfolio. So that's also changing a bit.
Are increasing regulations on balance beneficial for private equity?
I think probably not. It adds additional cost, and I think some people don't realize how small some of the funds are who have to comply with the regulation. It makes things a bit less flexible, and I think one of the key strengths of private equity is flexibility. So on average I would say no, but obviously transparency and certain things absolutely help. But I think the regulation has also been driven more through hedge funds, and hedge funds and private equity has then sadly enough put in the same basket. So a lot of the regulation I think is not really applicable to private equity, but has to be adhered to.
Eric, thank you very much indeed.
It was a pleasure. Thanks a lot.